lines of communication and to provide the transparency that you require to exercise your oversight. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you very much. I have a series of standard questions for all nominees. You may respond together appropriately. Have you adhered to applicable laws and regulations governing conflicts of interest?
Yes.
Yes.
Have you assumed any duties or taken any actions that would appear to presume the outcome of the confirmation process?
No, Senator.
No, Senator.
Exercising our legislative and oversight responsibilities makes it important that this committee, its subcommittees, and other appropriate committees of Congress receive testimony, briefings, reports, records, and other information from the executive branch on a timely basis. Do you agree, if confirmed, to appear and testify before this committee when requested?
Yes, Chairman.
Yes.
Do you agree when asked before this committee to give your personal views, even if your views differ from the administration?
Yes.
Yes, Senator.
Do you agree to provide records, documents, and electronic communications in a timely manner when requested by this committee, its subcommittees, or other appropriate committees of Congress, and to consult with the requester regarding the basis for any good faith delay or denial in providing such records?
Yes.
Yes.
Will you ensure that your staff complies with deadlines established by this committee for the production of reports, records, and other information, including timely responding to hearing questions for the record?
Yes.
Yes.
Will you cooperate in providing witnesses and briefers in response to congressional requests?
Yes.
Yes.
Will those witnesses and briefers be protected from reprisal for their testimony or briefings?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Mr. Cholet, we are engaged in supporting the government of Ukraine, in which for them, and I think for us, is an existential conflict. The administration did a remarkable job in assembling a strong worldwide coalition, but particularly NATO. What would be the impact if we began to cut off funding to Ukraine, both to the Ukrainians and to our alliance?
Chairman Reed, thank you for the question, and thank you for the time you gave me the other day in your office. I enjoyed the discussion. The impact if the U.S. were to stop providing significant support to Ukraine would be devastating. It'd be devastating, first and foremost, to Ukraine, which is putting good use of this assistance we've been providing them, but also to this very, very impressive alliance that has been formed over the last 20 months. 50-some countries are contributing in some way to the effort in Ukraine, and these are countries not just from Europe. These are countries all around the world that are providing some form of military assistance. We are leading by example. We are doing the most thanks to Congress's strong support here. And so I think it is absolutely vital that we maintain our robust assistance to Ukraine.
Thank you. Ms. Abercrombie, sort of working backwards, particularly in the Indo-Pacific, we could have situations where we have equipment that needs to be repaired, but the prospect of getting civilian contractors into islands in the Philippines is not that feasible, which drives me to the point I'd like to make is that we have to be able to fix those types of equipment in very difficult circumstances. That means we need the intellectual property, we need the data, which the companies now routinely keep. And I think also you might comment on whether this would help us with respect to sustainment costs if the work is being done by military personnel and not exclusively by contractors. Go ahead.
Chairman Reed, thanks for raising this very important question, and thank you for the time in your office last week. So I agree, intellectual property rights are something that the department must take a new approach to. It's different than we have done in the past. And I do believe that the department is moving in the right direction. But if confirmed, Senator, what I would pledge to do is make sure the workforce is making adequate use of the flexible acquisition policies that we do have in place for software acquisition to make sure we're building that discussion in from the beginning of the contracting process. I also think there's a way to work in partnership with industry to make sure we can have that IP access to do just precisely what you have suggested, which is to give the warfighter access in the field in the time of need without infringing upon industry's investments in the intellectual property itself.
Thank you. One of the senses I have is that the COCOMs have really specific graphic and information about what they need. In your role, will you stay in close contact with the COCOMs? In fact, some of them have resources to develop systems that might be very effective if it's deployed throughout the service. Will you maintain that kind of close cooperation?
Senator Reid, yes, if confirmed, I think it's my duty to make sure I've got good connections with all the sources of innovation across the department, including the COCOMs.
Thank you. Mr. Cholet, China is the pacing threat. Taiwan is the most significant issue among many that divides us. Our strategy so far has been deemed strategic ambiguity. People have suggested we abandon that and declare much more forcefully and explicitly our commitment to Taiwan. Avril Haines before has commented that this would be deeply destabilizing and would solidify Chinese perceptions that the U.S. has been on constraining their rise and produce more aggressive behavior. What is your sort of take on that?
Thank you, Chairman Reid. I agree with the DNI on the importance of strategic ambiguity. It has served us quite well for several decades now as we have worked to provide critical military support to Taiwan, guided by the Taiwan Relations Act. I should say that this is an area where Congress has been a leader since 1979 and the passage of the Taiwan Relations Act. So if confirmed, I would look forward to working with all of you to ensure that we're doing whatever we can to provide support to Taiwan, because the freedom of that democracy is absolutely critical to our interests.
There's I have just a few seconds left, so this may be more of a comment than a question, but there's a very difficult dynamic going on. To the extent that we build up Taiwan, and it looks as if it becomes more and more impregnable, it might force the Chinese to do something dramatic and aggressive. How do you want Sharon to balance that very difficult dynamic?
It is a very difficult dynamic, but I think the facts show that the PRC is building up capability at a very alarming rate to threaten Taiwan. It's important for the United States to work with Taiwan to maintain deterrence across the Taiwan Strait, and if confirmed, that will be one of my missions.
Thank you very much. Senator Wicker, please.